Okay, this is the last of the orientation videos, and we're going to go right into this paper assignment instructions and take a look at paper 1. Again, just like I did with the syllabus, I'm going to open it for the better view here. So paper 1 is 130 points. 30 of those points are about, you earn when you submit the article you'd like to use to me, the peer-reviewed article, so that I can approve it. And then 100 of the points are for the paper. And you can see right here at the top, the article is due to me on February 19th, just about a month from now. And the full paper is due on March 5th. And there's a fairly lengthy description here of what you need to do. And so I'm not going to read through this because you're going to read through it on your own. But essentially, this paper asks you to differentiate between the kind of information that you find in a peer-reviewed article, we'll come back to that in a second, and the kind of information that you find on the internet, on websites. And so let's talk a little bit about what a peer-reviewed article is. A peer-reviewed article, or sometimes what's called an academic journal article, is an article that was written by a professional in that field. So in our case, we're going to be looking at psychology peer-reviewed articles. And so typically these are research articles done by a psychologist. And after they do their research and write up the paper, they submit it to a journal. And the peer review process is that there are other psychologists who have agreed that when this journal the publication gets submissions, that they will read them over and decide and make comments and give feedback and essentially decide, is this a good enough article? Is this good enough or important enough information that we should bother publishing it? And so that's the peer review process. But what it means is that peer-reviewed articles have already been vetted. They've already had other people decide this is worthwhile research. It's well done research. It answers new questions or important questions, and that it's worthwhile. And in that way, you can read peer-reviewed research and not have to as much be wondering, can I trust this information? Because it's already been through that process to make sure it's trustworthy information. There are a couple of links here that you're going to need to look at. And this first link is a link on, again, that LibGuide that I referenced in the syllabus, that helps you understand how to evaluate websites so you can decide whether websites have good validity or are trustworthy or not. And then the second link is a link to show you how to use the library's electronic databases to find peer-reviewed articles. I am going to ask you, I'm going to require you to use our databases. I need to know that you know how to use our databases, so it's a requirement for the paper. And you're going to use that to find peer-reviewed articles. I will say that if you have never found peer-reviewed articles before, if you've never used our databases before to find peer-reviewed articles, I strongly encourage you to make an appointment with one of our librarians, and they will help you. They will walk you through that, and you can find the link for making appointments on the library webpage, on the college website. If you go to the library webpage, you can find it there. And I think maybe all of those appointments are virtual at this point. And so you can be home, you can be on campus, you make the appointment, you show up online for the appointment, they'll give you the link. And that is a really good option that I encourage everyone to do. So for the current assignment, what you need to do is you're going to need to find a peer-reviewed article, as we keep talking about, and you're going to need to find 2 websites, all on one topic related to psychology. So you're going to need to choose a topic within psychology, and essentially what that means is you need to choose a topic that has to do with human behavior or human experience in some way. And that could be a whole lot of things. That could be how humans experience music or how they interact with each other, or it could be sports psychology. It could be lots and lots of different things. So think about something that you wonder about that has to do with human behavior or human experience. And once you have your topic, and you can run that by me if you want to make sure you're on the right track. If you choose your topic, you're going to use those links I provided first to find a peer-reviewed article on that topic. It has to come from the databases. It also has to be a study. It has to be an article that is talking about a single study that the authors conducted. So there are some peer-reviewed articles that are just discussion articles. There are some peer-reviewed articles that are what's called meta-analytic articles, where they're talking about 30 different studies that they read. You don't want those. That's not good for this assignment. You want an article where the authors tell you, we studied 50 people and we gave them this survey and this is what we found out, right? Or something similar to that. So you're going to need to submit that article to me by the 19th of February so that I can say, yes, this meets the criteria, give you your 30 points. If it turns out it doesn't meet the criteria, all you'll get back from me is you won't get the points, but you'll get a note saying you need to find a new article, and I'll give you some guidance for what went wrong with the article you gave me. So you don't lose the opportunity. You just have to try again. And then you're going to find 2 websites on that same topic just by Googling. But you should find one website that, using the link for the library that tells you how to evaluate websites, you decide is good for academic use, and one website that you decide would not be good for academic use. And again, that library link kind of very much walks you through how do you decide what websites are good or bad for academic use. Right, so you have the following sources, 3 sources, as we've talked about. And then you have 2 different sets of questions. You have 3 questions you have to answer about your peer-reviewed article, and you have 4 questions you need to answer about each of your 2 websites. You're going to answer your 3 questions about your peer-reviewed article, you're going to answer 4 questions about website 1 and 4 questions about website 2. I am really happy for you to answer these questions in bullets the way I have the questions listed here. You're going to write full sentences, but think of this less as a paper and more as a critical thinking assignment. And so if you want to organize this with sections that look kind of like the sections I've got here, right, where you say peer-reviewed article, and then you have 3 bullets where you answer fully in full sentences what type of research, what data collection methods, etc. And then have 2 other sections for website 1, give me the URL so I know what website 1 is, and website 2 with the URL. But for each of those, you can have 4 bullets where you answer these questions. Right, and so I described that here a little bit. And then the rubric is right here. You get 30 points for once I approve your article, peer-reviewed article, and then you can see where the points come from, including the APA style reference list that you need to add, which is 10 points. And I have given you link to LibGuides on the syllabus that has APA resources. I also down here have those links again, and I also have given you kind of this cheat sheet to creating a citation for your reference list for your peer-reviewed source. Okay. All right. Obviously, you have questions, you ask me, but hopefully that gives you a nice overview.